Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Wande. I'm a hip-hop artist. I also love Jesus, and right now I stay in Atlanta, but I am from Texas, and even more so, I was born in Nigeria.
Hello, I'm Erinn Knight.
I'm Jackie O'Berry.
What's up? I'm Jamie Grace.
Based in Atlanta, greatest city in the world.
I am also from Atlanta. I would just like everyone to know that, even though I'm currently on the West Coast.
I live in Atlanta. I'm not from here though, so I don't have that much, pride behind it.
I'm an artist manager. One of my artists happens to be Wande.
I'm an author, writer, speaker, rapper, poet. I just do all things words.
I sing songs, I make music, and sometimes I go on tour when we're allowed to go outside the house.
I'm super excited for all the guests that we have here today. I'm pretty sure you're going to love them. All right, y'all. So hello, everybody. Welcome to this conversation. I'm so happy to have all of y'all. This is just going to be like a guided conversation. Feel free to just, be yourself, speak, talk about your experiences. But I think it's super dope because I think people's experiences help other individuals learn, just from what you've learned over your life. And so I think this will be a cool conversation just to even hear from women with your perspective. And I'm excited to see, where the combo goes. So with that, I just kind of wanted to catch up with y'all in general, just with your life. Like, what have you been up to in this current season? Like, what are you filling your time with in this quarantine life?
I'm living mom life mostly. I'm very grateful that my husband is my best friend because we see a lot of each other's faces being stuck into house. And so I'm glad I like him and not just love him. So that's a blessing for sure. I mean, I committed to releasing music every month this year. And so obviously there are much deeper sides of the quarantine, but just creatively, it's been a blessing to be like, oh, well, now I'm definitely gonna be committed to it because, I'm at home all day and I'm in the studio all day. So it's nice. It's just it's really fun balance of just wife life, mom life, and producer life, and I'm enjoying it. So
yeah, I mean, I'm more bored than I've ever been, but I think there's some fruit coming from that. I just felt mad introspective. I've seen just how my busyness just had me, I guess ignorant to some blind spots and stuff like that. But I think overall, I'm pretty much doing what Jamie doing, cleaning all the time, sweeping, washing dishes 15, 16 times a day, buying snacks, grocery shopping, Instacart, washing my hands, all that. I think as far as ministry is concerned, that's shifted but not changed. I had to work on the book anyway, so now I just got nothing but time to study and read and write. So that's cool. I'm just living.
Nice. Okay, Erinn, what you been up to?
I've been getting to know myself a lot more. Cemented firmly that I am an introvert because I haven't experienced cabin fever yet. But I also think it's because I travel so much throughout the year. Just with touring, it's been like great to be home. And I came to my parents' house. So I'm just around the people that I love. It's also helped with your album rollout, being stationary and not on the road the days that you were going to be putting out the album, and then really, pivoting one of my businesses. I have a booking company, so it's none of my tours are going out. So I've pivoted into the education space. And then I've just been really getting to know all the artists that I manage really well. And just being intentional about being better and not just juggling a lot, but being really focused and better at the things that I'm good at,
All right, y'all. Everybody, share one thing that you're listening to right now in quarantine.
I'm listening to a lot of Doc McStuffins and Veggie Tales, and last night Erinn and I stayed up till 5 a.m. and watched X Factor reruns on Hulu because that's what we chose to do with our spare time while our daughter slept through the night for the first time in a long time. And I'm listening to I'm looking at my phone, it's literally Brooks and Dunn, Adele, Oh, 116. And yeah, a lot of Wakande. That's my favorite of yours.
Thanks.
So I just been doing I did a playlist. I like doing playlists all the time. And so I did one last week called Depth, because there's some songs that, you know, those songs you listen to that make you think real deeply and even low-key depressing, but I enjoy it. I like watching depressing things, so that's just me. So it has stuff like Frank Ocean's Godspeed, Yebba, My Mind, You Got Me, The Roots, If I Was a Bird, Floetry, He Loves Me, Jill Scott. Super thoughtful, not happy songs.
Yeah, I feel like I'll be having playlists like that. I just never thought of titling it that, because like I like really in-depth abstract writers, especially like Frank, because he be like saying things outside the box.
I don't even know what he's saying, really.
It just gets it done. It's lit.
Yeah.
I'm definitely in my like melancholy bag too right now. I just had a birthday, so I do the same thing. I get super like deep and introspective. So I've been listening to Control on repeat, like SZA's last or previous album. And then there's a guy I found, his name is Love Monsway. Crazy, super fire. I've had him on repeat. And then let's see, Phil J has been going crazy. Of course, I've been listening to Exit. And then Maverick City has been going crazy. Yeah. I don't know if y'all have been listening to the stuff that they just dropped, Maverick City Worship. So yeah, and then Mariba, she's from Atlanta, very like melancholy soul. So yeah, been really in that bag.
Flames. Okay, we like the diversity in musical palette taste. We love to see it. We love to see it. So recently I released an album called Exit. And so within that, like the themes within the album, we're just discussing like how God taught me how in order to enter into a new phase of life, you have to exit the current season you're in. And while you're in that season, there's so many lessons that you have to learn. So that way you can move on to the next phase. So with this question is actually going to go a little bit deeper. So you're going to have to look back in your memory and reflect on your life real quick. And so I wanted to ask, what was the most prominent moment in your life that you feel you had to exit, but by exiting, you felt like you ended up being in a beautiful season that you never could have imagined God had for you?
I guess, apart from conversion, because I think that's the ultimate exit, would probably be marriage, to be honest. I think being single, we're single from birth. And so it's just an existence that we're used to, that can feel safe, that can feel super comfortable, because I don't have to share or be vulnerable with nobody but myself or whoever I choose to be vulnerable with. And so I think when I got married, it was just like, first of all, you took my last name. That's strange. Second of all, like bank account, it's just everything was different. Everything. But I think so much of who I am and what I've even been able to create and communicate is a product of me being married. That's not to say that I have to be married to be creative or to be inspiring or to be edifying, but I think specifically for me, I just got different insights and different healing because I got another person that I got to deal with to the glory of God. You know what I'm saying? So it would probably be that.
Awesome. I think also just to go off of that, like, how would you feel it was for you, like, moving in and, like, now you're living with another person every single day?
It was awkward because for the first week, I felt like I was in sin. It didn't feel right. It's like, I don't think we're supposed to be in the same bed together. I don't think this is normal. So I had to readjust. There are no boundaries anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's still hard, really. I mean, he still don't know how to put, the cat back on the milk. And so it's just continually a sanctifying process. But we get to share bills. So there's that.
Like, yeah, the pros. Yeah, that is definitely interesting because I think, like, Christian culture, especially when you're single, it's like, no, stay away, distance. And so I think that it's just kind of crazy. And I think it'll be interesting just to even have a conference for women or something like that, like newlyweds or something like that. Because I feel like switching your mindset is something that's probably really hard for a lot of people. It's like, oh, let me actually, I have freedom now. I don't have to be like a prude, or I don't have to be so like yeet all the time, So definitely something that's interesting. Jamie, did you have anything you wanted to share about?
Yeah, I definitely have one. I did want to piggyback on what Jackie was saying and just that's just hilarious because I experienced that too with marriage. Like, it was super exciting, and it's still super exciting. But I remember the first time I was having a hard day and I went in the room and closed the door, and he followed me, and I was like, oh, I guess this your room too. So, I totally get that. But most people know me for my music, I guess, or most people that know me for my music. And I think becoming an independent artist was was, I mean, it's something I still think about, and I've been indie for 5-6 years now. And it's something I still get questions about because I've been indie for 5 or 6 years. And it was something that I needed to do. I wanted to do. It was my choice. My sister was on the same label. She needed to do it, wanted to do it. And so we walked away at the same time. But it was also still this fear of, we knew that we weren't going to be able to answer every question. And we knew that we weren't going to be able to tell every intricate part of our stories, which as songwriters, that is our everything. And so walking away and thinking like, Lord, you still gonna use me, right? like I know you can, but like, I know you could also like send me to Jupiter if you really wanted to. So like, what's the plan? And so it was terrifying. And I was finding my peace and finding my joy in being indie. And then I was like encouraged, like, no, like get back in the game. So I went and I played every Christian label in Nashville you can think of. And then nobody called me back. Like everybody was like, no. And like most of them didn't even say no, they just wouldn't answer the phone, which is worse. So it was terrifying. And it's like, you don't want to talk about that because then people are like, nah, bro, like just make the music. Let that be the comeback. But it's hard when you're positive that you're doing what God has told you to do. And then you don't see what he's going to do next. So that was definitely the scariest exit for me, at least professionally. But like you said, it just turns into such a new, beautiful beginning. And, I don't think I would have ever lived in LA had that not happened. A lot of the professional experiences would have never happened. And, I'm more content and joyful creating now and touring now than I've ever, ain't nobody touring now, but than I've ever been in my life. And so it was the right call, but I had some fears in the moment.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, because I think that's something a lot of people can relate to. And I think even just as artists, because when your contract cycle ends, you have to make the decision: am I going to keep going? Am I not? And so I think for you, like even just having the confidence to keep going and like not feel like you have to depend on other people or even just share like your triumphs and failures, I think that's super dope. Seeing like your growth and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, thank you, girl. I appreciate that. It was weird, like emailing some of the same producers and being like, hey, so we still gotta do some songs together. And then they would send me back like a number and I'd be like, oh, just kidding. I don't sing anymore. But then I was like, you know what? I have a computer, like don't be stupid, And so, yeah, it's all God though. It's all God. And I'm just learning every day.
It's lit. We love to see it. All right, Erinn, you up next. Let's hear about your exit in life. What category?
Yeah, I think the one that I'm experiencing right now is probably obviously most terrifying because I'm experiencing it. Like last year, I went full-time into music. I've always at least had a part-time job so I could help like fund stuff. And then I went full-time because I literally was not home enough to work even part-time because I was traveling. I was on tour like 8 months out of last year consecutively. So I think at the top of COVID and like canceling 3 tours, I was like, okay, Lord, like if I got to go back and just do the like 9-to-5 hustle, try to figure something out, I'm cool. Do I need to work at Kroger or whatever? And I just really felt him saying like, stay steady. And so in my head, that thought was like, oh, my money is not going to slow down. And it definitely has. But I really believe that he wanted me to stay in this so I could focus on what I'm pivoting to. So I've put all of my money, all of my effort into my pivot. And it's terrifying right now because I'm betting on myself and betting on a vision that's not fully complete. So for me, I'm right now in the middle of probably one of my biggest exits because it's no longer just me. I have business partners with one of my companies. I have an employee now, and then I have artists relying on me. So I don't know. It's like, it's scary. Like, I can honestly say it's very scary right now, because on the other side of this, I don't know what the outcome could be. It could be, I can't even honestly dream big enough for this. So yeah, it's a terrifying place for me. I would love to tell about something else that's previously gone on and like how God came through for me. But to be honest, I'm standing here right now like, God, I know you're going to come through, but I'm having trouble seeing it. So I'm in the middle of one right now.
Yeah, I definitely feel that because I know I definitely went through that season whenever I first moved to Atlanta. I was like, okay, God, I know you're telling me to do music, but this don't look like it's working out. And so it was definitely interesting for me because like I went through a lot of phases. So one, I had to go through like a contentment phase because I was like, okay, God told me to do music, but he didn't tell me to what degree. So I was all like, that could just mean doing talent shows at my church and that's it. And that's who he wants me to impact and call it a day. And so I had to literally have a conversation in my car, like, okay, God, if that's it, then that's cool, but I'm gonna still go forward. And then just even how things ended up working out like they did, I think it's super dope seeing that and I don't know, like being like a entrepreneur, being out here, even now, like how I think most of us are all like getting money from our crafts. I think it's crazy because to me in the past, that seemed very unattainable and it is extremely scary. So shout out to you for putting yourself out there. But I think it's cool because all of us putting ourselves out there, I feel like it encourages other people. So like me seeing you, Erinn, like live out here and be like, nah, you can do this. I'm doing it. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can let go of my job and I guess I can try to be a full-time artist. And so it's interesting because everybody's obedience and everybody's stepping out on faith is actually leading to more people gaining the confidence to do the same and trust God. And like literally by you trusting God, that's how testimonies happen. Like you can't get testimony if you don't trust because then nothing's gonna pull through.